actually. So yes, I am now going to just try this. That's really good. That's really nice. The quinoa and the herbs actually really complement each other with the fish as well. So yes. Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name is Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious Herby sea bass with a slow cooker vegetable quinoa. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious Herby sea bass with a slow cooker vegetable quinoa. Now this recipe is really simple to prepare and cook, and it's a great dish for when the kids have gone back to school and you need a meal that's going to be tasty but easy to do. It does take a while to cook, obviously because it's in the slow cooker, but all you have to do is throw all of the ingredients into the slow cooker pot and let it cook away, and then at the end of the meal you've just got to cook off some fish, and it is that simple, I promise you. So what I have done is I have sliced and diced one leek. So I had probably a small leek, I'd say. I'm making this meal as if it serves two and a little person. So my husband, my son and myself will be eating this meal, but in the original recipe I said it serves 4. So I would use a whole leek for if I was serving it to 4 people, but as I'm only serving it to my husband, my son and myself, I've only used a small leek today, and I've just simply sliced it into like 1/2 centimetre pieces. I'm just going to pop that into my slow cooker pot, and then I have 1 small courgette. Obviously again in the original recipe I think I probably used a larger courgette. I did serve this to my cousin and her boyfriend the other day and they loved it as well, so so I did use a larger courgette in that, but this is a small courgette that I've just simply peeled and grated. Now I grate my vegetables because my husband and son aren't great fans of vegetables, but you can peel and slice it, or you can peel, slice and dice it, or you don't have to peel it at all. You could leave the skin on and just slice it if you want to. So yeah, I will leave that entirely up to you, but I have grated it for this recipe. And then I also have 1 yellow pepper. So I sliced the top off, removed the core and the seeds and the stalk as well, and then I just simply sliced and diced it into little pieces. I'd probably say about 1/2 centimetre pieces. So I'm just going to pop all of these ingredients into my slow cooker pot like so, and then I have washed through. In the original recipe I said about 300 grams of quinoa, but for my husband, my son and myself I've done about 180 I think, so half and then a little portion. So I've just simply washed it through just to get rid of the starch from it, and I'm just going to pop this into my slow cooker pot. This is going to be a bit loud now, so I'm just going to pop that in. And then I have about 600 mils of stock. Again, I think in the original recipe I said about 800. So I'm just simply going to pour over the top. And then I've got some tamari to add to this. So tamari is a gluten-free soy sauce. If you wanted to use soy sauce then you can do. Tamari is slightly more expensive, but I do feel as though it's better for the body. So that's why I like to use it. Not having so much gluten in our diet, so I think it's better for us. So I'm only going to do 1 tablespoon, but again in the original recipe I said 2. So I'm just going to mix those ingredients around. And then to that I'm going to add salt and pepper. So salt and pepper to your taste. So if you want to add it then you can, and obviously if you don't want to add it then you don't have to. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt in as well. Again, as I said, salt and pepper to your taste. And then I will mix those ingredients together as well, like so. And I'm going to pop the lid on now, and I'm going to cook this on low for about 5 to 6 hours. But if you wanted it quicker, you could put it on high for 3 to 4 hours. The quinoa I cooked earlier is almost done, so I'm now going to start preparing the fish. And for the first part of the fish, I'm going to get some olive oil, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in this bowl. In the original recipe, I think I said 2 to 4 tablespoons. I have decided to do 2 tablespoons today. It will just be my husband and I having this part of the meal. My son doesn't really like this bit, so I'm just doing this for 2 people. So I'm using 2 tablespoons, but 2 tablespoons will probably spread across 4 if you didn't want to use that much olive oil. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the herbs that I've just picked from the garden. So this year I'm quite lucky, I'm growing herbs in the garden. And I went outside and I picked some thyme, some rosemary, some lemon balm, and a sprig of oregano as well, oregano. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into the glass bowl like so. And I'm going to leave the herbs, I chop the herbs before I put them in, by the way. And I'm going to leave the herbs in this bowl, and while the herbs are just marinating in the oil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and preheat the oven, and then I'm going to prepare the fish. As you can see, the quinoa is done. It's cooked beautifully. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the lid on, and I'm going to turn the slow cooker off, and now I'm going to go and preheat the oven. I'm preheating the oven to 180 degrees. The oven has preheated, and I have put the fish into a baking tray. This baking tray is a stoneware baking tray, so I don't need to oil it. It's basically like a non-stick baking tray. So if you do have a baking tray that you need to oil before you put the fish in, then please do. And I've also spread the olive oil and herbs over 2 of the fillets because my son isn't having any olive oil and herbs on his. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the oven for about 15 minutes, or until the fish starts to flake away from itself. It's flaking away from itself, so if you just pull it with a fork and it comes away easily, that means it's cooked. So I'm going to take this out of the oven and I'm going to serve up, and that will be our dinner done. It smells so good. I just thought I'd give it a try before I sit down to eat it all, because I think I'm going to tonight. I'm really hungry. But this does smell really good, so I'm just going to give this a little try. I've got a little bit of the fish and some of the vegetable quinoa as well. The quinoa cooked perfectly in the slow cooker. I forgot to show you that actually, but it did cook really well in the slow cooker. My cousin and her boyfriend came a couple of weeks ago and I served this meal, and they said that the quinoa was cooked perfectly. They could never get it like that, so I said I cooked it in the slow cooker, and I told them how. They were quite impressed actually. So yes, I am now going to just try this. That's really good. That's really nice. The quinoa and the herbs actually really complement each other with the fish as well. So yes. Looking forward to my dinner this evening. That's how you make my delicious Herby sea bass with a slow cooker vegetable quinoa, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our dinner this evening, and it smells and tasted so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.